Hi there everyone, Melanie from jarofthreads.com, and I'm back with a Make It Monday video. And today I'm going to show you how I make some banners for my project life. But first you can have a quick little look at a project I was working on in Photoshop, digital painting. And I moved on and I created a new file. It's an A4 file because that's what my printer prints. And if you can hear noise in the background, it's my son playing. I might have to stop and get this ball of him before he breaks it. Anyway, moving on. I use the select tool, which is the rectangular select tool, and I traced a new rectangle on a new layer. And I filled that in black because I want to see where it is. And I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to use the polygon tool. Here it is, polygon. It's under the shape tool in Photoshop, and I'm going to choose 3 sides, and I'm going to draw a triangle. And I want a triangle that is where all the sides are the same. To do that, you hold on to the Shift key while you trace your triangle. Sorry. And that's me grabbing my keyboard, by the way. I recorded this video with my son, Leon, sleeping on my lap, because he's a bit poorly, that's why he's home today, instead of being at nursery. And here you can see me drawing this triangle holding the Shift key, so all the sides, I can't talk, all the sides are the same. And I'm going to transform it by rotating it. So to transform, you do Control T, and then still holding the Shift key, you get the sides to turn so that they're horizontal or vertical. As you can see here, there's one side that's vertical, exactly vertical. And now I've applied my changes, and now I'm moving it with the arrow keys on my keyboard so that it's aligned with the middle of my rectangle. And now I'm going to hide that. I've selected this the shape by control and clicking on my layer. And now I'm trying to see if I can clear it, but I can't. By selecting my rectangle layer and pressing delete on my keyboard, I remove the shape from my rectangle, and I'm left with a banner. Ooh. I'm using Photoshop, but I'm pretty sure you can do the same thing with free software such as GIMP, and maybe even Google Draws if you guys are using Google Docs. Maybe Google Draws. I've never used it really. I've just opened it once by accident, but I'm pretty sure you might be able to do this kind of thing. Anyway, now I'm adding a stroke. So I went into my layer style at the bottom and pressed stroke, and now I'm changing the color to yellow, and I'm changing the width as well to 5. You can change it to whatever you like, and now I'm going to move closer so that you can see. And to move your artboard around, you hold on to the space bar and you move with your mouse. And now to make it white, what I did is I did Control I, which is also invert on the image adjustments. Invert. Control I. It's the easiest thing to do. And maybe I should have chosen another color other than yellow, because I'm not sure if it's going to be very visible. Hopefully it is. And I'm going to duplicate this layer because I want several of those banners on my paper. And so to duplicate your layer, you could do Control J, or you can drag your layer onto the new layer at the bottom of the layer window, just next to the rubbish bin. There's a square, and that's a new layer icon. If you drag a layer onto that, it creates a duplicate of the layer you've just dragged onto it. I hope everything I say is making sense. I can see my son playing in the reflection on my laptop. It's quite handy. He's managed to get the ball off the coffee table. I'm not quite sure what he's playing with, but everything is pretty safe. So I'm now moving on to another style. So I want some banners with double stroke, so 1 6 stroke on the outside and 1 fine stroke on the inside. So what I'm doing is I'm duplicating the first I did, and then I'm changing the color so I can see, and I'm selecting the shape by control clicking on the layer. You need to control click on the artboard shape on the layer, not just the layer, to select it. And then I'm going under select, and I'm choosing modify and contract, and I contract it by 10 pixels. And there I filled it with gray, which is not really what I wanted. So I'm going back under edit, fill, which is toward the top, and then I'm choosing white. There you go. And this video is not sped up. At the same speed I've filmed it at. So now that's me playing with Control I, and then I remember that you guys are watching. And now I'm going to the previous layer, choosing copy layer style, and then I'm going to paste this layer style onto my bottom banner, and then Control I to remove the black. And I'm pasting this style as well on the inside banner, but I'm going to change the stroke to 2 pixels instead of 5. And now I'm going to zoom in so that you can have a better view about what I've been doing. And I'm going to merge those 2 layers together. I'm going to do Control E. That's merged down. All the shortcuts I'm using, they're all, and if you look into your Photoshop, you can see that most things got their own shortcuts, and after using Photoshop for a while, you just learn them. Like everything, it's a learning curve, but it's not something that you can't do. It's with time and practice, you can do it too. You can hear my poor baby coughing and sneezing, and it's still quite chirpy. Not too sad. And I'm duplicating those layers. I think I've just did Control J a couple of times. And I'm going to create smaller banners. What I did was duplicating the big banners, and then I did Control T, and then holding the Shift key, I changed the size to a smaller one. About the new banners are about 2/3 of the size of the big one. That's what you can see me doing right now. I'm shrinking the size by taking one corner and bringing it in. There you go. You can see. So by doing that, if you're doing that on layer that you've merged in, that's lost its layer style. The layer style has become embedded into the layer. I don't know if that makes any sense. Then the stroke is going to shrink down as well. If you do the Control T, then the transform on the layer, which still like this one, the stroke is going to stay like you defined it. Does that make sense? So let me explain. Try to explain a bit better. If you've done a merge down and your layer style has become embedded into your layer, when you shrink it down, the 5 pixels outer border will become maybe 3 pixels instead. But if it's not been embedded, it's going to stay 5 pixels. Is that clearer? Maybe. You let me know. And now you can see it took 10 minutes to do all those banners, and here I'm taking a break because my baby son woke up at that time, so he wanted to move around a little bit. He likes banging stuff. And I decided, I think I wanted to create banners with a solid color in the background. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find the one I want to duplicate. Maybe I should label my layers as I go. Oh, he's unhappy. So here you can see I've zoomed in quite a bit to have a better look at what I'm doing. So I'm trying to select the color. I've used eyedropper tool on the left bar, you can see, and I'm trying to select the color, and I'm doing that I'm sitting on my sofa. The laptop is plugged into my telly, and I'm sitting on the sofa trying to aim with my mouse for the color, and I'm struggling a little bit. Here you go, I've got it. So now I'm going to do a control click on my layer so that I select it, and I'm going to fill it with my foreground color and yellow. Sorry. I'm not quite sure what I'm duplicating my layer because I want two of them, and then I decide that I can actually fit three of them on the width of the page. So I'm going to merge those layers down so I can select them with my rectangular select tool, and then I duplicate them and I move them to the right, and I decide to do the same thing with the banners above. It's going to take me a couple of tries because they weren't in the layers were actually not together, so I'm going to move one and then I move the other. And if you're interested in trying out Photoshop, if you've never tried Photoshop, through Adobe's Creative Cloud, you can do a 30 days trial. So you could try to do all your banners and everything you want to do in your Photoshop for 30 days. And then you could save those files in PDF format, and then you'll have them forever. Even if you decide you don't want to keep using Photoshop, you'll have those PDFs for you forever. The only thing is that you wouldn't be able to change the colors. The beauty of keeping my files as PSD, which is the native Photoshop format, is that later on I can reopen this file and change the colors quite easily. So here I'm not quite sure what I'm doing because it's very little on my screen. I'm showing you what it looks like on the page, and I'm going to print, I think, or am I saving it? I think I'm printing. No, I'm saving it first. And you can see I use very, so here I think I'm saving it as a PDF. So you go under the save as, and then you go under the drop down menu and you've got PDF. And thinking, and then you get a bunch of settings and stuff you need to decide on, and I'm using the highest quality here to save that because I want to print it, so it's not something I'm going to read on the screen. And okay, and that's it. And next I think I'm going to print it. Now I'm saving it again. This time I'm saving it in PSD format. That's it. Going to print. Yada yada yada. Just click print. At this point I realized I didn't have any paper in the printer, so I think I'm going to pause and get some cardstock, and yeah, that's what you're seeing here. Slow brain this morning. I'm printing out on the same cardstock I'm making my Project Life cards with. Works just fine. So I'm printing that. And I think next I'm going to pause and I'm going to show you what to do when you're printing. Here it is. So I'm going to open my PDF, and that's how it looks like in the Adobe Acrobat Reader. That doesn't matter, you can view it at whatever size you want. And now you go under print, and here you need to choose actual size, otherwise it's going to shrink. It's not so much of a big deal, I guess, but if you've decided on the size, a particular size for your banners, you don't want them to be shrunk by the Acrobat Reader, so you need to print on actual size. And that's it for today. It's a couple of pictures, and I hope you enjoyed this Make It Monday. And I see you on Wednesday for my Project Life video. Have a nice week, everyone. Bye bye.